目線遮るすべてをなぎ払いその先へ駆け抜ける天空の王者惜しくまい黒い羽の雨が散る高速で走る地の果てに今刃振り下ろす振り下ろせ
All right, here we are, back once again for Beam Saber the Cenotaph Season 2. I am your host, Austin Ramsey. I'm also the creator of Beam Saber, and I'll be your GM for the evening. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me on Twitter at notanin. And if you would like to financially support the development of Beam Saber, you can do so at patreon.com/AUSTINRAMSAY. That's my name. As always, this stream is presented by You Don't Meet in an Inn, an actual play podcast about exploring obscure tabletop role-playing games with a diverse, rotating cast. This evening, I'm joined by 4 lovely folk, and the first of them is Takuma.
Hi, I'm Takuma. My pronouns are they, them. My Twitter is at Takuma_Okada_. Or games and music. I'm taking commissions for like soundtracking stuff, music, anything really. You can DM me on Twitter if you'd like to follow up on that.
Nice. Thank you very much. Also joining us is Sasha.
Hi, I'm Sasha Rennell. You can find me on the internet at Sasha_Rennell. My pronouns are they, them. And you can find my game design stuff at Tcabbage.
Thank you. Also joining us is Ray.
Hello, I am Ray. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Ray the Gay, or I guess on Tumblr at cultivating-saplings. Come and say hi. Don't too much. I post memes on my Tumblr sometimes. That's about it.
Thank you very much. And brand new to the squad, we have Doc.
Hey guys, I'm Doc. I use he, him, and I'm an animator, podcaster, and streamer. So you guys can follow me on Twitter at DoubleDocMD for leftist angry nonsense, on Twitch at DoubleDocMD for Spooktober full of scary video games, or at themoviecast.simplecast.fm for I guess leftist film critique. It's called The Movie Morgue. It's a lot of fun, and we just did an episode of The Ring. It's really cool. That should be everything, I think.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Happy to be here.
So, last we left our heroes, they were in a spot. But we're going to jump ahead several months to a new season, to winter. So, it's been about 4 months since the funeral of Saint Gertrude. 4 months since you all managed to get the Rites of the Ascent excommunicated. And 4 months since Demon took Hopper and left the squad, joining the Jovangelian hyenas. The image we open on is a light, gentle snow falling upon the chapel that you all call not home, maybe. Well, maybe it is now, as there are dormitories under construction on the grounds. And We see this from above, which we discover is the view from one of the supply zeppelins that regularly comes to the chapel, attaches to the bell tower, and unloads crates of munitions, repair supplies, medicine, food, whatever you need. But today, it is carrying something unusual. What's very obvious is that underneath it, hanging below the gondola via securing lines, is an AV. Doc, would you mind describing that AV?
Initially, one might parse the shape descending as some kind of tank. It comes in kind of three sections. There is an upper section which has all the hallmarks of a tank turret. It's all ballistic angles and weird, that kind of streamlined yet definitely aggressive geometry. And below it are these two, cuboids, which you might initially think, two of those in a line, tank turrets. But as it descends and, it comes into focus and, you start to gain a little bit of visual clarity, you see that they are in fact folded up legs with, very blocky, very square. And there's something projected off the side. The whole thing is kind of wrapped a little bit in tarps. But you can see as the wind buffets, as it descends, it lifts off. And you see a lot of mottled gray in, digital camo patterns and so on. And there is a distinct clinking of chains. And you can see, maybe towards the back, I think one of the tarps just kind of flaps loose and dashes off into the wind. There's a lot of chain armor skirts kind of hanging from the edges of the turret, so you say.
Nice. Thank you very much. So the Zeppelin descends to the ground, and from the Zeppelin, as it's approaching, we can see that the chapel has a fair-sized grounds around it. There's a barn nearby which has been converted into an AV workshop. There's also a cemetery with grave markers. But the strangest feature is a ring of proxies milling about just outside of the chapel grounds, just wandering back and forth, muttering to themselves. A mote of ghosts, digital ghosts, if you will. So, as the Zeppelin comes in, where is Pitchfork?
I forgot to unmute. Okay, here we go. So, Pitchfork went off on an early morning hike in the mountains because it is starting to get cold, and she wants to get in some late season final hikes of the season. Get that beginning of the cold sharp air into her lungs. She's just getting back on the edge of the base.
Okay. And where's Bert?
Bert's in the converted barn workshop thing. I think I've spent a good amount of these past 4 months making Bert look nice. I buffed out the level 1 harm grazed. Yeah, probably poking out a little bit out of the doors.
And what's Bert look like?
So Bert is a big chunky mech boy, quadrupedal movement, got these thick four thick legs, industrial hands like the triple fingered crane hands, kind of a very a very bulky cockpit, and an ornate head. It's decorated with a flower crown right now that I painted on probably sometime in these past 4 months. There was a different painted design before, but yeah, looks like a big industrial mech, which it is, was previously used for farming, and yeah, that's Bert.
Okay. And where's Spade at?
Spade is on her way back to the base. Spade has been spending a lot of time in the Broken Bank. Has finished up work on the clinic that Co wanted to make and was working on during the previous season, and has been spending a lot of time there trying to like clean up and rehabilitate what proxies Co can. So Co is just now getting back into town, piloting the Magpie over to our base.
All right. And what does the Magpie look like?
So the Magpie is like a sort of like a caterpillar lizard buddy, who it's black and white. It's black on the top and then white on the bottom, and on the bottom of it has this sort of fractal pattern that shifts like when you put sand on a speaker, and this produces the knell, which is the sort of sensation or frequency rather, that keeps the Magpie afloat, and also senses digital and organic remains. It doesn't hurt. It just feels extremely bad to be under. The Magpie has 8 arms that it keeps folded on top of its back. These arms have many joints to them, and the hands come down to sort of tentacle ends, and it has eye spots on the top as well as the entire Nell setup, and it has like earth mover jaws on the bottom of its head.
Nice. And where's Tower?
Tower has been trying very hard to learn how to cook things for the crew. So they are sort of, I think, like cleaning up from some relatively successful pancakes. I think they're very proud of these pancakes, even though they're probably nothing special. But you know, they tasted good and they were edible, and so they're very proud of these pancakes.
Okay. I think you cut out there, Ray.
Oh, they're just sort of cleaning up from that.
I see. So they're in the semi-finished dormitories then, where the new kitchen is?
Yeah, I think we've got like a shitty dorm kitchen, but you know, we don't have much space, so they're making do.
And where's the Mantis?
The Mantis is sort of sitting cross-legged, almost, outside. And it's, like, I think it's leaning up against the wall sort of under of the big barn that we use for storage. I think it's just leaning up out there because they have been working on it and slowly peeling off the incredibly gaudy decorations that they had put on it. And they are in the process of, like, just sort of sketching, like, little paint lines and pencil sketches of things they want to decorate it with. So it's got a lot of like little flowers and nice little things.
Nice.
I think they're going for a less gaudy aesthetic.
So Spade, we'll come back to this, but I just wanted to mention it now, that in the months since that you have been working in the Broken Bank on your clinic, you've also noticed that there's been a pretty heavy March of Saints presence in the Broken Bank as well. But we'll table that for now.
Great, that's probably fine.
So, Pitchfork and Spade, you two can both see the Zeppelin coming in and detaching an Avi on the grounds. And then it lowers the gondola to the nearby lawn, covered with the light dusting of snow. And someone steps out. Doc, would you mind describing Scarecrow?
Sure. Scarecrow's a slight-looking girl, about 5'5", 5'6", roughly in that ballpark. And from far away, she seems to be, dressed normally. She's got a kind of undercut going into a side fringe, shock of white hair, and she's wearing a flak jacket and fatigues. But as you get closer, you'll notice that the flak jacket is actually completely open, and underneath she's wearing a flight suit, which is some kind of form-fitting military, hard rubber thing. It's got a lot of red and navy in it. It's kind of thing, and she's got a duffel slung over one shoulder, and she turns and she just kind of looks very levelly at the Avi that's been dropped next to her.
Okay, so you get out of the Zeppelin, and snow swirls about you as it lifts off again, and you can see the approach of a very strange looking Avi, the long and sinuous magpie that Sasha described earlier for us. You can see a couple inactive Avis over by the barn, but there's no other sign of anyone around. What do y'all do?
Yeah.
Did we have a? I'm paging the other two. Hey, did we have a delivery we were supposed to do today,
I don't think so.
or a pickup or something?
I thought that was next week. I'm not sure.
It might have been. Well, someone's here.
Well, do they look murdery?
They look equipped to be murdery, but
Okay.
I mean, so are most of the people we deal with. So I guess that's not much of an indication.
Yeah. Just, I meant sort of more actively murdery. If they're just neutrally murdery, I think we're chill.
Does Scarecrow look neutrally murdery?
Yeah, she does. From a distance, I guess not. I mean, military hardware, military dress, nothing in her bearing or facial expression that would say, murder now. So
Okay. So a solid neutral murder. Okay.
yeah.
Well, there's only one of her Avi though, so can't call that a murder.
It's tanky. That's
Not
concerning.
a murder, it's an engagement.
Love it. Great.
Yes, but your Avi is called the
Karasu.
which is
Crow.
so
Did I say that right, Takuma?
Karas, yeah.
Karasu. Okay.
so yeah, just one of them, not a murder.
Anyways, since there's no immediate greeting party, what she's actually going to do is climb up on it and start taking down some of the tarps and so on. And you actually do see she kind of rips off the big one, and it's implausible for her to do so, but I think it's in the cinematic flair of the moment is the main tarp comes off and you see the front of the turret, and there's a seam line right down the middle, which comes over the single colorful addition to the whole hull is the word I'm looking for, which is just a white kind of single color emblem of a crow skull right on just the kind of front of it.
Now, are there any spots that have been like relatively recently painted over that perhaps had military markings or national symbols?
I think you could definitely find a couple spots where there used to be some. It's been around the block a couple of times. It's had a couple different, what is the word that we had so much fun with last time? Liveries. Over the years. Liveries. It's had many livers.
Yep.
But nothing
That's
that
Patrick.
looks terribly recent. There's obviously like a couple of shifts in the paint job where like panels have been replaced or painted over and blended as well as possible. But I guess if you really, really like took a really close look at it, you might notice the outlines of some very particular ones, particularly some Jovangelian ones, in some prominent places. But those are very old, and it's just like the outline of where the paint is slightly uneven.
Okay. So, Spade, you're the first to arrive on scene, because it sounds like Tower's just still doing the dishes.
Yeah. Look, neutral murder is not worth dirty dishes. I do not need that crust in my life.
I like that.
All right.
Get me when it's active murder. Or
Oh,
like,
great. I will definitely be able to hit you up when it's active murder.
get me when it's impending murder.
All right. Well, her being up on the mech is not great, but I think that Spade is gonna hop down out of the magpie, and is dressed sort of very, very lanky, kind of tall figure, is dressed in a lot of like white and gold, and it's all it's all very ornate, and there are sort of like highlights of black. That's not the right word, but like
Trim?
Accents.
Lowlights?
accents. Yeah.
Question. You say it's very ornate. Are we talking though more haute couture or like Napoleonic dress? Like, I'm just curious for the exact vibe.
Or is there just a lot of paisley?
Ugh.
No, I would never dare encroach on Scratch's fashion.
But the paisley is all the word paisley.
It's like a lot of like Alexander McQueen looking shit. It very very runway military.
Okay. But there's like a hint of the military aesthetic to it. That's all.
Oh yeah, no, it's all the way through. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Austin looked so excited when I said paisley, but the word paisley.
So you got to trademark that. That's Paisley squared.
Paisley, but the word paisley, but it's in the shape of the moon, so it's paisley moon.
Oh my fucking.
Yeah.
Okay. So seeing Spade approach, Scarecrow is going to actually just descend the. She's not going to jump off. She's not quite that adventurous, I guess you'd call it, but she's much more practical. She's gonna. It's one of those like short ladders, like off the side of the leg, that it doesn't quite reach the ground, but it gets her low enough to kind of descend down. She goes down, and then she stands just kind of rigidly. It's not quite at attention, and you get the sense that she's being kind of deferential to a kind of military paradigm of operation where it's like our possible officer, I think is what she's responding to. So she's waiting respectfully, but not showing explicit respect.
Hey, Austin, do I have a rank? Am I actually in the military? I don't know.
Are
Well-
we military?
Here's the thing, is that
Gross.
I mean,
Right, we're in a war.
like
Yeah,
y'all
it's
aren't currently a combat unit, right? and you're obviously made up of a group of misfits. We know that Pitchfork signed up at some point in her past.
Right.
And we knew that Demon had a military rank for sure. But I think that Tower and Spade are probably technically like contractors without a military rank.
Oh, so that's why we're getting paid minimum wage.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the last couple months have been like for you all, because if I may, Sasha, share a little bit of the detail, that fic that you wrote and shared with us.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so you said in that fic that in the last couple months that Spade has sort of been at odds with the maintenance of the base, because Demon used to keep up with the supplies and logistics of the bureaucracy of keeping y'all running. And now that he's gone, you've been sort of filling in, I guess, because you're seems to be the most minded towards that.
Well, the thing is, I tend to be the one who runs out of toilet paper, so I'm like, shit, I need to get... It comes to me, because that is just how the luck of the draw has been.
Yeah, so... I guess the three of you have probably been... I don't know. Have any of you been turning to anyone else as like, so who's in charge now?
What's on second?
I don't know. I think I've been sort of gravitating towards Spade, only because I think, like, I still kind of owe a debt, so I'm trying to do what is needed, I guess.
It's my fault you've got chemical burns, so I'll fetch you some toilet paper.
Basically, yeah. Or I'll make you mediocre cookies, steadily getting better cookies, all that, like.
Okay. And Pitchfork, what's your relation with the other two been like in the last couple of months?
I think I like try to hang out with them, and sometimes it's alright, but it's like kind of lackluster most of the time. Yeah.
And Spade?
Well,
That's a hell of a question.
wait, what was the question? Sorry.
How have the three of you been sort of like getting along the last couple months? With, I don't think that you like, you've had work, but it's been very like rote stuff that you could basically do with your eyes closed. Half the time, Spade, you could have done it on your own. Actually, probably more than half the time, but you know, it's expected that all three of you go. So
Great. Oh, man. It's probably the like workplace vibe we have is the same as like the thing that I hate about being on a film set, which is that there is always like one person is doing like is being waited on, is doing the work that they were supposed to be here to do, and everyone else is waiting for them to finish up so that they can do the one thing that they're supposed to do, while everyone else waits for them to finish up so that they can do. And it's just like this like terrible patience plus boredom plus like stress that I have to be ready at every time, at any moment to hop in and do the work.
from what I hear, that's typical of military life.
Right, yeah, so
Okay.
it's probably a lot of that. And probably they're like, I think that Spade is gonna try to make it like a more enjoyable experience, like brings or like buys coffee for people when it's too early in the morning, or like buys lunch or something, and tries to set up like opportunities to hang out, but is not something that Ko has done previously, really. That's always been someone else's gig, and so there's always sort of a stilted feel to them. That, as you know, as Pitchfork can attest, sometimes works, sometimes absolutely does not. So it is. We work fine together.
Okay. So you get out of the Magpie, and there's this person standing in front of you on, like, not quite saluting, not quite standing at attention, but clearly being deferential to you.
Spade walks up and is like, "Are you here for a delivery?"
I think cargo's more appropriate. Are you the CO here?
As far as anyone knows.
And with that, she just does like a quick salute then. Riza Hagden, Scarecrow, 349 Alpha Beta. Actually, no. Alpha Lambda. There we go. Pretend I said that quickly and like wrote like something I say all the time.
Sure. Spade. I forgot what my name was. Hang on. Spelled
Well, you'd previously said that you kind of considered your full name, your non-call sign, as a dead name.
Mostly the first name. Bellevue is fine.
Okay.
So, Spade is fine. What cargo are we taking in? Giving out? What's the shipping manifest?
So, Austin, I'm gonna ask who the hell hired me.
All right.
Was it just Scratch thinking we needed a friend?
Probably.
If I am recalling correctly, your opening was mercenary, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, the situation in this region, I'm going to take us over to the play screen so that we can see the map.
Excellent.
Now, in the 4 months since the funeral for Saint Gertrude, things have been heating up on the border between the Jovengelian Empire's controlled territory and the lands of the faithful to the south. The Wolf Pack, the Jovengelian squad, based in Fort Jovenel, they have been building up, recouping their strength, which is why they came here in the first place, after they'd taken a beating out on the front lines of the war. And so now that they've recouped their strength, there have been a number of border skirmishes in the lands of the faithful. Now, previously, there were 2 squads stationed in Hollinton. There was the Rights of the Ascent, and there was the Cenotaph. Hollinton is the closest major Celestial Myriad settlement to Journey City, which is sort of the center of the conflict in this region, because Journey City features the last independently held space elevator known as the Tower. Now, all the 5 factions want to get a hold of that tower because the planet that y'all are on has a heavy orbital debris field, which makes satellites basically impossible and makes landing craft very rare that they're able to get into the planet side. So almost all the supplies that y'all receive either come from the Journey City space elevator, or they're shipped in from further afield, like from off. I'm not sure, I'll be frank, I'm not sure how big Isia, the landmass that y'all are on. I don't think it's as large as like a full continent, but I think it's definitely bigger than like the UK. So it's a pretty fair-sized chunk of land.
Are we thinking like Australia-sized?
Uh,
Smaller than
Australia is a full continent.
yeah,
Australia is really big.
Yeah, it is, but like it's not as like
Yeah, some
continent big as continents. You know
So-
what I mean?
somewhere between Australia and the UK, which I realize is like a pretty large latitude. But
Texas?
I'm
Bigger than a bright box. Smaller
Yeah.
than the planet.
but the point is that you're either like the supplies you get is either from inside the lands of the faithful, locally grown, which is pretty rough considering how war devastated the area is, or it's coming in from the tower at expense going to the locals, or it's getting shipped in from off island, which is quite the overland, well, oversea and then overland journey. So, yeah, there was only 2 squads in Hollanton, which is the forward population center of the Myriad. And because of the actions y'all took in the season finale, now there's only 1 squad stationed in Hollanton. The Paladins of St. Mobuto have been doing their best to patrol the border to the north of y'all, but they aren't stationed in the area. They have been preparing to move supplies in to support their patrols, but they haven't yet done so. So, Scarecrow, you've been hired by the, let's see, who would hire you? Probably the Paladins of St. Nabuto to join the Cenotaph, so that they have more firepower should they be called upon to defend Hollanton. And Hollanton, to be clear, is not like it's the largest Celestial Myriad settlement, but it is maybe 100,000 people, if that. No, it's probably actually thinking about it, it's probably close to like 50,000 people. It's not a big town. It's just the biggest in the area. So yeah, that's why you're here. You are here to provide some additional firepower to the only squad stationed in this area.
Okay. Sorry, what was the name of the org again? Sorry, there's a lot to take in.
Which one? The one that hired you?
The one that hired me, yeah.
The Paladins of Saint Mobuto.
Okay, I'll just, yeah, alright, cool. So to go back to the conversation then, it's, I'm sorry guys, I'm still finding the voice a little bit. The Paladins hired me to provide the fire support and supplementary firepower to the Cenotaph. She checks, quickly brings up, little digital display notes. Yeah, Cenotaph.
Well, you're in the right place. I suppose we should get you settled then. And like opens the gate and like reaches out through the AR and sort of like parts a path through the ghosts. And is like, come on in. Let's introduce you to the group.
Yeah. Cool. So as she follows, she pulls up something real fast, taps a couple things on her inside of her wrist, and the Karasu stands up. And you see that it stands fairly tall. It's about, it's in the heavy medium kind of class of weight class, so far as you guys have seen Faravis. And it's bipedal with kind of bird-like legs, but with these big claws that just kind of dig into the earth and give it a very stable firing base.
Big steppy.
Yep, big steppy. And
Cool.
I think a couple of the remaining tarps fly off in the wind dramatically because that's just how we roll here. That's how
That's
I-
cake now.
It's gotta be
Does
anime.
have like tarps are expensive. You've got a lot of tarps.
It's okay, they've all got RFID checks.
Someone will find them.
If they love me, they'll come back.
They'll catch on a loose proxy, and then there will be a ghost.
Ah!
If a proxy dies on if a proxy's person dies on Halloween, and the person was dressed up as something, does the proxy then look like a zombie or something like that?
The proxy, if the proxy's appearance was set to a costume, then yes, it will stay whatever the appearance it was set to was. Oh,
More
that's
So
important-
is there just a single proxy wandering around with a lampshade on their head?
yeah, probably. I mean, there are probably we established previously that I think Demon was the only one who actually had a proxy of the squad. And his was like basically a me version of himself. Like including his like Prussian ass military uniform. So yeah, does Scarecrow have a proxy?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not one that she's actively maintained or used.
All right. To be
Hey,
clear,
we'll swing. Sorry, go ahead.
to be clear, they're not like they're not like luxury items. They're probably about as common as mobile phones are in our world. So not everyone has one, but a lot of people do. And yeah, they're not always visible, and by default, their appearance is just how you looked when you got it. So that may come
got
up
an old
later, but
If you've got an old one, it's just 12.
yep. Yeah, so the two of you head into the chapel grounds.
I just had a terrible thought. I'm sorry. What if we have, like, little kid proxies in the mode? Oh, that's bad.
I mean,
Oh,
part of Pitchfork's backstory is that a lot of the people she grew up with were conscripted or joined the military at a young age. And there are probably some of their proxies in the moat. So yeah.
fun and good.
Yep.
Well, let's at least put that mech of yours in the barn,
Sorry.
and so we'll swing by there first, and see if there isn't space for it, or if we can't fight with Pitchfork over some space for it.
All right. Well, that's awkward. She's just gonna go ahead and bring it back down then, so she can get in. Pile it into the barn.
Very graceful.
Has Pitchfork made it back to the base yet?
Yeah, like I saw the drop off, and I think I would have like snuck up to get a closer look, and then like seeing everything was okay, I would have come out at this point.
Okay. So describe what Scarecrow sees as Pitchfork approaches.
Wearing like jogging gear. Pitchfork is like early 20s maybe, very muscular, not in a like works out way, but like does a lot of physical labor way. Has like long black hair, trusting eyes, young face. Is about, I think, 5'8" ish is what we said before, maybe 5'8" to 5'10", somewhere around there. And yeah, probably has her hair back in like a ponytail to keep it out of her face while she's hiking.
Cool. Cool. So you approach Spade and this new person, and
Spade, who's the new girl?
What was out of character? What was your name again?
you sure that's not just in character?
Riza Hagden. It was the name, and Scarecrow was the call sign.
Okay. Then Frieza Hagden seems to be sent to give us more firepower, which we apparently need. now, and sort of gives a baffled shrug.
Yeah, I think the timing was that they came up just as it was like getting on the ladder, so now she's just kind of hanging off. It's like it's just an awkward boat. It's just like trying to be casual without having to jump off the ladder.
I think you get like a little.
Yeah, because I think it's like one of those like on like certain like heavy machinery and stuff where like it's not a ladder, but it's not just cut into things so that you can get up there like a ladder. So like to get up there, you have to initially like do a little jump and like scrabble for things a little bit. So it's like she doesn't want to do that again.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Sorry, I was gonna say, I think you get like a little ping, just like, hey, how murdery we feeling? Do I need to come out and help with anything? Are you dead? The dishes are done, so I can just come out anyway, but, you know.
Spade does not answer.
I don't have my phone on me. Definitely do.
Well, that does not bode well for your survival, so I think... I think we just get, like, just this tiny little, like, very, very long, sort of scrawny, skinny legs, just, like, bolting out of the half-built, like, dorm. And then, like, seeing that nothing's wrong and just still running because don't know what's going on, but see, like, this tiny nerd child sort of just, like, fucking bolting across a field.
So, what does Tower look like?
Tower is sort of, like, very long, I think. Long but short, almost. Like they look how, like, kids who do gymnastics look, in that they're sort of compact, but, like, long legs and kind of muscly. They've got a really long braid going down their back that's sort of frizzing out a little bit because it's, like, rainy and humid and all that. And I think they've got, like, one dish glove on. And they're just, like, running out.
What are they wearing?
I think nothing special. Like, what sort of casual wear look like in this setting? Is it just what casual wear looks like now?
It can be whatever you want. There's at least 6 different cultures on this landmass.
But I think it's a big, like, flowy skirt, and, like, just like a t-shirt with some band logo on it, and then a big, like, flowy flower print skirt.
What's the band?
I need to come up with a good band name. I think.
Is it a metal band, perchance?
No, I don't think so.
I do have a canonical metal band in mind.
There is a canonical metal band?
There is a canonical metal band.
That's so good. I think they're called Confused Indifference, and they are... they were a band that they were really into when they were with the Cirque du Soldat, and then, like, stopped listening to, but the t-shirt is comfy, so...
Band t-shirts are always really comfy.
Yeah. It's like how everyone has a Panic at the Disco shirt or something like that, you know? I don't, but half of my friends all have Panic at the Disco shirts, even though they don't listen to them anymore.
Yeah, so you've got someone running at the 3 of you with a one dish glove on and in a flowy skirt and band shirt.
Very, very efficient combat gear.
At this point, this is enough of an event that Riza's just going to, all right, and lower herself off.
I don't get why they always have to wear gloves.
Well, it keeps your hands from getting pruny.
Yeah.
Also makes it so you don't have to touch wet food.
Exactly.
But I don't get it.
You like touching wet food? Is that the appeal of washing dishes for you? Because
Is that your ASMR?
I fully understand, like, why that would be confusing, taking the joy out of washing dishes.
Just all that soggy pasta.
You don't have to touch the food. Just use this sponge. I don't.
Yeah, but then you have to clean the sponge, and that's hard.
Mm.
Because the food gets all up in the. Anyway, this is Scarecrow. Up here is Tower, and this is us. This is the whole Cenotaph.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
and
You're
with
not
the
getting
whole
murdered.
dishwashing, wet food appeal conversation, Risa has gone kind of blank, and it looks a little bit like she's scowling because you notice actually now that you guys are all kind of like in like a personal, not a personal space, but like in a personal sphere. Like she's got a scar like from the corner of her lip just going down, like there. So, and yes, I have changed the scar. Shut up. So she's just kind of following around, and she nods along with the introduction.
Okay. We're very competent.
Is that in character?
I can't decide if it's in character.
It's fully in character.
It is fully in character, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
Tops an
not
eyebrow.
especially busy here. I guess if they're expecting a fight, we should gear up. But it's been quiet.
Quiet's good to hear. So you said we should take this inside, right?
Yeah.
She gestures back at Karasu, and all right, lead the way. And she goes again to climb up.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get murdered. I don't know what to say about that. I'm just glad none of you died.
Thanks. That means a lot.
And from the top of the ladder, he moves to the second ladder because like it's on like a leg that's like settled down. So it's like you'd have a ladder here and a ladder here, but when it's standing, they wouldn't be connected. So like it's in different sections. So as she reaches second, she turns back. Is like, it's nice to meet you all.
Waves.
And then she climbs up to the underside of the main cockpit section and climbs in.
You know, I didn't ask who hired. I should probably have asked.
You think?
This would be the easiest group to infiltrate. Like, yeah, guy said I work for you guys now, and that I'm to handle all the sensitive documents.
I think
you
part
didn't
of that is
mention that.
because-
You said you were here to fire a gun.
That is like, why would anyone want to infiltrate us?
We're just useless and gay. That's all we are.
We pick up
Useless and gay is
the
a gun.
garbage left behind after the Doctors Without Border or with Beyond Stars. Like, we're like trash pickup, but for people. Like we're.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
Wow, you just insulted a whole profession.
I did. I'm sorry. Mortuary affairs is very dignified and a hard job, and I apologize.
I think you insulted two professions there. God damn.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win. I don't know what that looks like though.
So, Spade,
Uh-huh.
as you say that things have been pretty quiet lately, you're reminded of, well, not an incident per se, but as you've been working on your clinic in the Broken Bank, there's been a large upswing in March of Saints activity since you started making the clinic. Over the last couple months, the Saints have had regular patrols in the area, and it looks like they're trying to set up a fire base inside of the Broken Bank.
Ah.
Yeah. I think at one point, St. Gertrude's proxy contacts you.
Oh, yay.
And so she does small talk with you for a little bit, She's not very good at it, to be frank.
You know, I don't need a whole lot.
Yeah. She just sort of hits like the very basics of, how are you? This weather, huh? And and
Love
how
it.
about the Hollenton Bears? I don't think the Hollenton Bear. I think the Hollenton Bears are like the local baseball team for Hollenton.
Oh
But,
my
like,
God.
If I don't, does Spade follow local sports?
Absolutely not. What?
Yeah, that's fair. There are no local sports. The Hollenton Bears haven't been active in years.
Yeah,
Pitchfork would
like,
know this.
Oh,
How
Gertrude is
about
just
local sports team?
reading this off of Wikipedia. She's doing her best.
She's a proxy. Maybe
her.
working towards something more, but right now, she's just a social app given voice. And then she comes to the meat of the reason she's contacting you, and her vocabulary and mode of speech immediately changes. And because you know her so well, you can tell that this message is basically from Tusser,
Great.
your rival in the March of Saints. And Tusser is, via St. Gertrude, is very gruffly asking, just short of requisitioning the technology you're using to make your clinic a safe space from proxies. No real explanation as to why. Just a friendly request from St. Gertrude. Oh, also, to be clear, this session is going to be a downtime session. So if there are downtime activities you want to do, just say so.
Okay. Well, that doesn't make me feel super good. I mean, downtime is good. That's the bit that is the good part. But getting missives from Tusser is not fucking great.
Oh, another note about this session is that for the three veteran members of the squad, so to speak, y'all can clear all damage, harm, and stress you currently have built up. If you do any cut loose during this downtime activity, you cannot overindulge. So it'll just be a way for y'all to get new beliefs with each other. And Scarecrow, at the end of the session, we'll go over, you'll be able to get 3 free beliefs, 1 for each of the Cenotaph members who you're getting to know this session.
Cool.
So yeah, Spade, you get that request. What do you do with it?
I tell Gertrude that it's been fantastic visiting and she should come by more often. And I thank her for passing on the message, and I ignore it for a full week.
Okay. I was gonna say, let's say that this was today, but since it's you just straight up ignore it for a week, we'll say that that was a week ago. And yeah, you haven't heard anything from them since.
Sweet, working as intended.
Yay, ghosting. Or proxying.
Hey.
Roasting. There we go.
Gross.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's great to have a forward base that much better equipped than we are in Journey City. So at least those patrols I don't have to worry about. Well, I don't have to worry about metal coming in. I do still have to manage proxies and whatnot, but I'm set up to do that. So
yeah, I think because they have taken such an aggressive stance in the Broken Bank, that means that there have been more skirmishes in the Broken Bank and in the area immediately south and southeast of Journey City, on the south side of the river where the Broken Bank is located, between, I mean, just about everyone except for Exodus Republic Incorporated. Pretty much everyone has a border that connects to the Broken Bank. The Jovangelians don't, but they're so close that they may as well. So the March of Saints have been fighting to keep this foothold in that area.
Not exactly quiet.
But it hasn't affected your clinic yet.
Hooray!
Yeah. So is that all you've been up to over the last couple months? Or primarily been up to, Spade?
It's been the large brunt. Because those were my two long-term projects. And I think other than doing my best to keep the Cenotaph functional and together, just sort of spending some time being mad at Harrow, and also going and visiting my good friend Dr. Haliasianopoulos, my ex-mentor, current mentor. I don't know if that relationship ever really decays, but heading up to space and hanging out with her, because that was like one of the last things that Harrow told me to do, was like, hey, have you visited? You should visit. And so I'm like, that was weird, I guess I'll go do that and see what's up.
Okay. Dr. Cyanopoulos, over the last couple months, has her health has been getting worse. You can tell whenever you're there, she puts the energy in to be sociable, but like you can tell that she's losing weight. So whatever the illness that she has from the exposure to the chemical weapons years ago is catching up with her, but she still always is there for you. So do you want to do any downtime activities related to those?
I'm not totally sure what I want to do yet. I would appreciate if you came back to me.
Okay. Does anyone have any ideas for downtime activities that they want to tackle? A recommendation might be cutting loose with Scarecrow so that y'all can get at least one belief with her.
Yeah. I was thinking about that.
But of course, if you don't want to because you're too awkward, that's also understandable.
Don't call me out.
All of us are awkward, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one sociable person just left. Well, not just, but left a couple months ago.
Oh no.
I do want to
Oh.
train Playbook once because I am one away from a new ability.
Okay, so what does that look like?
Well, considering what I want to take, it was probably a lot of like combat training in Bert. I probably made some modifications. I'm planning on taking Meat is Cheap, Save the Metal, which is where when the vehicle you are piloting takes damage, you can choose for the pilot to take an equal level of harm instead. If you resist this harm, take -1d to the resist roll. Basically, probably modifying the cockpit and like Bert's movement to be more responsive to my movements in the cockpit, and also putting me at greater risk. And
Pitchfork's,
like getting used to that new system.
Pitchfork's gonna tank for her tank.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you had in mind for downtime activities?
Not yet.
Okay. Tower, are there any downtime activities?
Yeah, I know I want to train either prowess or maybe resolve.
Y'all do have a resolve training space.
Yeah, we also have insight. And I was thinking about talking about getting as our, because I think we've got a flying upgrade. Just taking prowess and rounding it out.
How do
But
y'all
I
feel
think-
about that? Since you do have that floating upgrade, since you took quarters with your advance, so you could take one more upgrade, and as Ray suggested, prowess wouldn't be a bad choice.
Because it would mean we would have training equipment for all of the sort of categories. So we would be able to get 2 XP whenever we trained anything.
Well, except for personal.
yeah, which is
For-
playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you
yeah.
know.
And also testing facility, but the upgrade downtime activity isn't so good right now, but that'll be changing with version 0.30.
Oh,
But anyways,
I was looking at heavy transport if we switch to logistics, and repair bay if we switch to mech cav.
is heavy transport still in there? I thought that's not actually in the rules anymore.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, that should not be there.
Okay.
So what was the one for Metcalf?
Repair bay.
Oh, that's good.
That's an
Yeah.
upgraded workshop.
Yeah. I feel like it would just. I don't know if we want to address it now, but I feel like we should address squad type changes if we're going to go further with the downtime stuff, because it might affect things.
That is very true.
So I don't know how everyone feels about it. We're sort of flip-flopping between Metcav and Profiteers.
The argument has been that we can pull abilities from any playbook, but we can't pull XP triggers from any playbook, and Metcav's mechanized cavalry's triggers are like aligned with our play style
Yeah,
more.
it's basically just what we do.
Yeah.
Y'all just did get fire support.
Yeah, fair.
That
Okay.
too.
Also,
And we-
the squad-specific upgrades are non-transferable as well. So if you go with Mech Cav, you won't have access to the mobile base, for instance. Or
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I like the logistics upgrades, but I don't like the XP trigger. I like the Metcav XP trigger, but I don't like the upgrades.
Yeah.
Rounded
I feel like it's a trade-off between getting cool shit slower or getting stuff we don't like as much faster. So, I feel like
I like
that's
the idea
what.
of having a repair bay. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I know I suggested it, but I just took the one that makes it so I don't need that upgrade.
Fair.
But covering my bases.
Yeah, I think what we want but slower is better.
Yeah.
So
And we can also work on figuring out how to get missions that will sort of tailor more towards this stuff.
remember,
work
you
on
can
figuring.
also do long-term projects to get
Squad upgrades.
squad upgrades that are non-specific to your playbook.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Or
yeah.
pilot gear that's not specific to your pilot playbook as well, for example. Remember, long-term projects you can use to break the rules.
Fair. Could we do a long-term project to change our XP trigger?
I mean, I suppose. I don't know how you would justify that narratively. But if you can think of a way to justify that, I will, we'll talk. I'm not opposed to it.
Now.
Because if we can get the Metcav XP trigger on logistics, we'll be set.
Mhm.
Well, that's...
Now we just have to figure out a narrative reason.
God.
Oh, yeah,
We just have
that's...
to develop a reputation. Whoa! We just have to develop a reputation as delivery with gusto.
Delivery, but extra.
I feel like that's not gonna be too hard.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Currently,
kind of just us.
currently, I guess this is something that you would have heard, Scarecrow, about the Cenotaph free of charge, is that their reputations are merciful and duplicitous.
God, I love the idea of coming to this place knowing that that's our reputation and then meeting us and being like, wait, no, they're just morons.
You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
Hey, I'm just a theater kid. This is bullying, and I won't stand for it.
Okay, so, Metcav or logistics?
Should we take logistics and then try to come up with a long-term project to get the...
I mean, failing that, we'll still have things that we want to get, even if we don't
Yeah.
manage to fix
I mean,
it.
challenges above your pay grade in battle, delivery, or rescue operation. That. Oh wait, no, that's cavalry shit.
It's also like...
Delivery or
Yeah.
required new clients. Challenges above your pay. That still doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, it also means that, like, because I forgot we could do long-term projects to get not squad-specific stuff, we can prioritize getting squad upgrades and then set up a bunch of long-term projects for other shit,
Yeah.
which I think might be a solution to the issue of timing.
Okay,
that.
so y'all are going with logistics then, for sure.
Hmm.
Okay.
I got no say in it, but yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you fully do. Your
well,
character doesn't, but you do, because you're going to
Yeah.
be playing with us.
I'm cool with whatever. I don't have enough of a grounding in the system to really have a strong feeling either way yet. So
Okay. So that means that we're going to have to take upon the tedious task of transferring the information from one squad playbook to the other.
do we maybe want to hold off on that?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Also, I just noticed that the logistics has composed, which is from an old version of the playbook. Instead of composed, it should have reliable, which is each vehicle gets +1 character box.
Okay.
So
Huh.
y'all will have
Oh,
that.
so we lose our extra stress box?
Yes, you do.
Fuck.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Because you're switching, you're going to lose profiteer rigging as well, and you're going to gain smuggler panels.
Right.
Okay.
So the equivalents are getting swapped over.
Okay.
So, yeah, y'all are back down to 9 stress as your cap instead of 10.
I mean, judging by how much trauma we took, it didn't help much.
Speaking of, I would like to start a long-term project to work on this trauma.
Okay,
Yay.
so,
Gonna get better.
yeah. Let's see. So, by default, removing trauma is 4 long-term projects in order, back to back.
That's just bullying.
Oh, that's
I'm-
a lot.
I'm here to do the work. Like,
Yo, therapy is hard, y'all.
recovery takes time and work and stuff, and I
Yeah.
have 3 trauma. Would like to not have 3 trauma, because if I don't work on this, then my character's gonna have to go somewhere, and it's probably going to be underground. So,
Yeah. So here's a question.
yep.
By default, these clocks are 6 tick. But if the game is grittier, it's 8 ticks, and if the game is more heroic, it's 4 ticks. What do we judge this campaign as? I don't think we're 4, to
No,
be
it's-
frank.
No, I don't think we are either.
But we're also dumbasses, and I feel like gritty and realistic isn't exactly.
6 is
we
fine,
ran a
then.
dragon through a church.
We did do that.
I will make the snap judgment here. if this is gritty, I have signed up for the wrong crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 sounds right.
Okay, so Spade, start a 6-tick long-term project called Identifying the Root Cause, and then put in brackets whatever trauma it is that you're trying to remove.
Okay.
Oof.
What am I trying to fix here?
Whichever one's getting you the least XP.
Probably burned then. Because I've never been quite sure how to use it, so. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that Spade is wearing a full helmet. And it is.
Was this for the whole exchange?
Yep, for the whole thing. It's just like a blank slate. It is an LED screen, but it's not showing anything.
So Daft Punk.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But like full head Daft Punk. It's just the whole thing is a screen.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no helmet part of it. Yeah.
So like Doc Scratch.
Maybe?
Like just an orb.
I just like how this completely
Screen.
changes like how I'm picturing that entire conversation. It's just like, oh, okay. I'm just not going to comment on that.
Fair.
Do they always wear that?
Co generally wears like a variety of different like masks. And generally has this is actually probably the tamest of the lot, because it's just
Yeah.
just a screen. Usually it's a lot of like Nick Cage's sound suits, is that right? Cage sound suit. Yep, that's the one. It's a lot of really abstract shapes and prongs and sort of weirdness.
Maybe
Core outfits are designed to neutralize the Nell so that Ko can just sort of wander around underneath the magpie and not be bothered by it.
could you put a link to one of those images in the Twitch chat?
Holy shit,
Yes.
what is this?
It's cool as hell is what it is.
Where did you
It's in the
post it?
Twitch chat. Put it up in the
This is
Discord. I
like-
want to see this.
This is like a Samorost game, but clothes.
Mm-hmm.
The computer's actually garbage, so I can't run Twitch while we're streaming.
I'll put it in both. Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Wild. Absolutely wild.
I don't know where you posted it.
I haven't posted it yet. I
Oh.
have okay, so I got the link on this computer. I have Twitch open on the other computer. I realized that I cannot actually copy paste it between the two, so that's where I'm at today, right now.
It's
Not
a mental
yet.
state. Just emotionally.
In an in, not at an in. Here we go. There you go.
There we go.
And I'll
Alright.
stick it in the Discord.
I will.
Oh boy.
Where?
Yeah, Nick Cave's cool.
Where's what should I be going to for the masks?
Oh,
Just all of it.
Jesus.
It's just this vibe.
Oh.
God damn. That's a look.
Really heavy
Tag,
textural stuff.
tag yourself. I'm the beads that look like teeth.
Damn it. I'm the abacus looking one with all the buttons.
That's aesthetic as hell, though.
These are I like so does Spade ever walk around with a washboard mask then?
You know, depends on the day, right?
Okay.
Sometimes you want to make music.
Or have a very full laundry basket.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Oh. Yep. Okay.
It's been described before that that Spade is a Bloodborne character replete with a boss mech. So
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. So if you're wondering about Spade's aesthetic, just go with Bloodborne is Spade. Character is Spade, and then Kor's mech is a boss. So, all right, yeah. So going back to your long-term project for dealing with your burned trauma, what do you do to identify the root cause?
Oh,
Is that why you're seeing Holly Cyanopolis?
I think it's part of the trips. I don't think it's the focus of the trips because like Holly has her own problems and also I think is a doctor and not a therapist. And so, I think that Spade is seeing some like a therapist in Doctors Beyond Stars. And in sort of combination with that, I think the advice that Ko has been following has been to like is looking for the dragon. Just like maybe if I see that what I did had a point, I won't feel like such an asshole because I did it.
Okay. All right, so what do you want to roll for that long-term project?
Am I willing for that long-term project? Oh boy, is that like a bucket thing or a specific?
No, it can be literally anything, so
Sweet.
long as it makes sense to what you narratively did.
Can I argue for scan? Just sort of like get in the magpie and wander around the mountains for a while.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Looking for chasing that dragon.
Oh.
Yeah, but like not with my raw, terrible body, undrugged or whatever. Ah, great. Doing great. Doing real good. That's a 1 and a 3.
One.
Gross.
Good start.
Good start.
I'm the best at trauma.
Love to go and get help and then get absolutely no results for fucking weeks. Love it.
Yep. There you go.
Yay.
So mark 1 tick on your progress.
God.
That's so real.
Yeah.
Also,
1 out of 24.
Okay.
This is a rough game, Austin.
Also, I
This
want
is a
to
mean game you've built.
polish off resolve because I only have 1 tick left on that. So that's my training. Is in
Okay.
that.
So remember, you mark 2 XP since you all have the. And what is it that you do to train your resolve?
Don't touch the puppy.
I am. I think this is mostly just me working. It's part working at the clinic. Part of it is trying to figure out what friendship looks like with Tower and Pitchfork. So I think I had it for interface, but also I have ways of interfacing with AI that doesn't need it. So I think I'm just gonna go with consort.
Oh, you don't roll anything for training.
Right. No, that's what I'm putting. I had 1 point
Oh.
left for resolve, so I'm leveling up to consort.
Oh, okay.
what
I
I'm
see.
Oh, also, sorry, question. Because we're switching to
Logistics.
logistics and they already have prowess training, do we just automatically get that, or what happens there? Or do we untick the ones we automatically got previous?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's how that works.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You'll untick the motor pool that they have for free, and the prowess training that they have for free, because y'all did not start as them.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and with that scene of Spade trying to figure out how to friend as resolve training, we are going to take a break because it is 7:30. So we'll be back in a little bit, and we will see y'all then.